Yo, 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 this is Weaponry Fitness, aka Pastor J. We are about to go live, or we are live actually. Let me hit this intro. Yo, so we are in Florence, Kentucky. I'm away on a secret mission, so I can't really tell you guys what I'm up to, but we are going to do our normal thing out here, train and remain vigilant and aware of any enemies, foreign and domestic. So I am not in my normal spot, so I am kind of a little bit discombobulated, but I was going to talk about foresight and how important it is to everyday decision making as it will remain. Some people make very bad decisions because sometimes they have bad foresight. So they're sometimes aware of consequences, but they do not know how to prepare for them. So they know that consequences are coming for their bad decisions. They just don't know how to prepare for them. So I'm actually going to go in a little bit of, I'm going to touch upon some of the bad decisions that I made without having good foresight and how different it has actually made and what a difference it's made in my life. Understanding foresight and understanding the decisions you make, whether it's good or bad, can have a bad or good outcome depending on what precautions you take before you made a decision. So hopefully everybody can hear me. I don't know. I am going to make sure that I have to look to my left because that's where my monitor is. So we are good actually. Okay, so I made a video a while ago. I was just gonna play it on I was gonna upload it on YouTube like a normal video, but I decided I'm just gonna react to it because it's actually me in the woods showing people how I train in the woods. Oh my god, this is terrible, man. Normally I have my monitor in front of me, but I have to look to the side, so it just kind of looks weird. And then I got this window here just screwing up the lighting, so I got to work with what I got. So let's see if I can find this video. How's everybody doing today? All right, so I got the video pulled up, and we're just gonna. Hopefully, the internet's good because I'm using uh hotel internet, but it should be fine because the upload speed is actually faster than the download speed, so we should be good. Let's see, video details. All right, we're gonna pull this video up here, and that's not the right one. That's my webpage. Make sure that you guys are subscribed to my YouTube channel because YouTube is the algorithm is cracking down on channels that actually grab the most attention. So we're not going to be seeing much of the YouTube algorithm because I have terrible engagement, but that's fine because I do this because I like it. So here's a video that I made, and bear with me because I haven't watched this yet. So I'm reacting to a video that I made that probably has a bunch of audio issues. We're going to do a voiceover on what it's like running through the woods and how and what skills you need. Hopefully you guys can hear that. In order to not hurt yourself and to avoid injury and to get through the woods as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So right now, here's the trail. So I do not have my gimbal on me, so that's why it's a little shaky, but just pay more attention to the audio versus the video because most of what I'm talking about is a little more important than what's going on in the video because I'm not actually doing any running around. I'm just going to show you what I do when I do run around. So it's pretty straight shot. No obstacles, just walk through. Be careful of like the dips and stuff. So this is my most visited part of the Metro Park. If anybody has been there, you probably know exactly where it's at. But I know these woods like the back of my hand. So if I were ever to get into a situation where I'm in pursuit and I'm the one being chased, I'm going to run them into the woods at this exact location because I know exactly where to go in and out, and where certain there's some actually there's some very bad there's some traps there. There's some traps in the woods that I know about that many people are not aware of. So um, best not to run through the woods with me. When I'm training in the woods, what I look for mostly is open space, kind of like this. And then you got a couple of trees and branches just all knocked down from storms or just from old, just the way the trees grow, they get weaker over time due to weather. I was not planning on shooting that video because I was actually in the middle of shooting another video. So I'm actually kind of improvising this. So I'm kind of like lost at words when I'm making this video. So just bear with me. That's why I'm kind of reacting to it so I can actually explain it a little bit better. Stuff. So I like to look for open ground so I can do my weapons training, work on forms. And when I do any kind of running, I look at things like this. So if you have watched some of my videos where I'm running through the woods, it's really hard to actually get what I'm actually doing in the woods because you need a very skilled cameraman, which I can actually do myself. I wouldn't be able to film myself. So the problem is with me filming that, I just don't have, like, if I had somebody who had my abilities to run through the woods, I'd be able to capture him very, very nicely because I can run through the woods with him without falling. So if you are watching and you don't understand what a gimbal is basically a camera stabilizer. So even when you're shaking with your hands, the gimbal is designed to stabilize the camera so it's not shaky, kind of like what you're looking at in this video, because I don't have my gimbal equipped. But basically, the branches that you see on the ground, like if you're running through the woods, whether you're being chased or not, you should know that branch is there as far as you can see. So if you can see, I don't know, maybe maybe an eighth of a mile away, like that branch is there. So when you come up to that branch, you already know what you're going to do. You're either going to jump or run around it. Now, if there is a tree next to that branch, make sure you don't run where there is to the right or the left of it. You already know what direction you're going to go because you've already seen the branch and you know the tree was there. So um, you're able to create a funnel, basically, whether you're evading an enemy or chasing somebody. So if you're chasing somebody, it's still good to know where your obstacles are, where your obstructions, your objects, wherever you are running to. Whether it's like above you or on the ground, you should know where those are at before you even get to it. So, well before you get to it. So, I always use this analogy. When you're a motorcycle rider, you should already know there's a tire in the middle of in the road, a quarter mile before you can see it. Like as far as your eyes can look, you should already know it's there. Um, if there's a sign that says merge right or merge left a quarter mile or a mile ahead, you already know that you're getting over. So I don't know why people wait all the way. Like this is a common theme that everybody really complains about. It's like, why does everybody wait till the end to get there? And to merge and stuff. So basically what you're doing is you're going to create a slow merging process. So it slows down traffic. So the sooner you get over, the better it is. You may have to wait because there's a bunch of knuckleheads that are going to merge late. So, I mean, it's up to you. So a lot of people like to be aggressive because they want to get ahead. But yeah. You're dropping the camera with the gimbal, of course. But in my case, I have to set up multiple cameras to get me running and jumping and stuff so I could save time. Or I'd have to just keep turning off and do the same stunt over and over and over. So what I like to do running in the woods here's this big tree. Now, we're going to just say hypothetically, I'm about 20 yards. So one thing that I don't know if anybody really teaches that is physical validation. So you've already, like the tree right there, you already know it's there. Once you run past it, sometimes you want to brush your hand against it to get physical validation to make sure that your depth perception is good. So when you reach out and touch the tree as you're passing it, you know that your depth perception is still on point. Now, if you miss the tree, that means you're unaware of how fast you're moving, and your depth perception may be a little bit skewed because of the running that you're doing. So sometimes our senses dwindle the more fatigued we get. So we need to understand that. The more you're running through the woods, you need to understand where your fatigue is. Sometimes you may, like, kind of like me, man. I have a very high tolerance for pain, so fatigue, I usually don't feel it. But if my perception dwindles, then I need to know that, uh, just in case. So this is why you want to make sure you touch things as you pass them, to give you a little more understanding of where your body is at. So I think that's a lot of things that people don't understand. So you can always use that in real life situations too. So um, obviously, the iron analogy everybody's aware of, like touching the iron. Some people learn, like, there's two ways you can learn: touch the iron, know it's hot, or you can learn by others. Somebody can tell you if the iron is hot. You can learn that way, but sometimes it's better to touch the iron um, to get the understanding of what physical pain is like when you do touch the iron. So some people learn better that way. There's certain situations where you be best learning from others' mistakes. So for the most part, I've learned a lot from just watching other people's mistakes. But at the same time, people have taught me or told me not to do something, but I did it anyway, and that was probably the better experience, is to experience it. So you got to understand which experiences that you have to learn from in the lesson of pain versus those where, if you learn, like, if you make a mistake, then is it going to be a long-term deficient deficiency on your on the quality of your life? Like, if you jump off a building, like, the consequences, and if you survive that jump off the building, your consequences could be dire because you could never walk again. So if somebody tells you don't jump off a building, you're going to either kill yourself or you're going to paralyze yourself. That's probably not a good decision that you want to experience, whether it's painful or not. So um yeah. Starts from this tree, and I'm running toward this tree. I know this tree is there because I got a quick scan. So if anybody understands how autofocus works on the camera, your camera, depending on its autofocus capabilities, some is super fast, some is very slow. But the ones that are very, like, in the middle, it takes a while to focus. So let's say if I zoom in here, it takes maybe a half a second to focus. I have very super fast autofocus, but it's kind of the same way that your perception works when you're running through the woods, except if you want to get through the woods very quickly, you have to focus your eyes quicker. So let's say that tree is right over there, and I'm running toward the tree. I know that tree is there because I already took a scan of it before I got there. Now, at the same time, I need to focus my eyes on the ground in front of me, make sure I don't hit any twigs, trip on any tree branches. And just to clarify, you don't want your eyes, especially if you're running at high speed, you don't want your eyes on the ground too long, because you're moving really fast. You need to scan within every 10 feet that you watch. So you need to kind of have good mental image photography, so to speak. So take a picture of what you saw, put it away in the storage bank, and you can discard it after you've cleared the ground that you've run past. So if that makes sense. Any dips. So those dips, I should be able to see within 10 yards. If I see it, once I get to the dip, and here's the thing, I'm very fast runner. So that means my eyes have to work a lot. The Asian came out of me. Yo, my grammar, even though I'm like half Asian, sometimes my grammar just, like, it's almost innately like like I have the Asian dialect in me. Like, I talk like an Asian even though I was born in America. That's so crazy. A lot quicker. If you're a slow runner and you're just starting off, it's easier to see obstacles. But when you're running fast, you have to work fast with your brain has to connect the dots before you even get to the dot, so to speak. So once I get to this tree here, as I'm running, I already know it's there. So I'm going to be veering off to the right or to the left. And now, depending on where I go right or left, there's more obstacles on the left, as you can see. So I'm going to zoom in on that branch. That means I'm. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Understanding your options and making a decision very quickly. So we talk about calculated risk when you're using foresight. So you need to understand. So recently, I lost my job, right? So I understand which I understand I have options with a CDL, so I'm going to send out a bunch of resume or send out some job applications. So the thing is, when you're sending out like a lot of people like to just shoot job applications one after another because they have options. So they want to send out as many applications as they can, and probably hope for the best and get the one that's the best. I don't do that. The problem is because I like to apply for higher quality, the best income jobs out there. So I don't want to. Now, this is just me. You don't have to do this, but like for my way of thinking, I only apply to jobs that I want. So if I apply to 10 jobs and the one job that I want the least calls me first, now I have to either take that job or decline. Now, this may seem moralistic or like I'm trying not to be a jerk, but like you can't tell them to wait because you're waiting for another job call, like you're waiting for another callback. Like that's kind of like a recruiter, you're not talking to an employer, but the recruiter's going to look at you like, what if you don't get on this now, then we may not take you. So this is the reason why I don't like to apply to a lot of jobs because I expect callbacks. Now, I never have issues getting jobs. Now with dating, this is different. As a man, you probably want to talk to multiple women because most of them are going to reject you. So now you got to understand the difference. There's a You can correlate job hunting with dating, but it's very similar, but a little bit different because um, men don't really care. Like as long as she looks good and she's not annoying, I mean, we'll take the first girl that hits us back. There's no problem with that because it's not like you're losing out on the rest of the other women. They may hit you back, they may not. Um, for me personally, if I hit on 10 girls and the second one calls me back, like say if I gave 10 girls my number, the first five don't call me back, the sixth one calls me back, but the seventh, eighth, and ninth ones were hotter. And let's just say, for instance, they did call me back. I'm going to respond to the first one that calls me back first because this is not a job offer. I mean, I hit on all 10 girls because I thought they were nice. I thought they were attractive. So I'm going to I mean, if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it's whatever. I lost all 10 girls if it doesn't work out with that sixth girl. So the first girl that calls me back, I'm gonna try and make it work. Now with the job, if you apply to 10 jobs and the sixth job hits you, but the last seven, the ones that pay you the most, you're kind of screwed because you took that sixth one. I mean, you can always decline it, but it's a little it's very complicated. It's a really hard situation to get into. So that's why I've only applied to like one or two trucking outfits and I got one right away. So um I don't know if that really made sense, but like you can always make that correlation. I mean, short story or long story short, I apply to the jobs that I want and I wait for a week. If I don't get a call back, then I apply more. So actually we can get rid of this video. Kind of done with that. So basically, what was I gonna do? Oh, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, my situation. So I got a call back, and it's actually it was actually a backup plan. So let me go all the way back to when I first got fired with URS when I was a contractor for the Navy. So after a year, I got fired from that job, and it was probably the worst firing. It was the only firing at that time that I ever got. It's the only termination that I got from a job. So I didn't have a backup plan. It paid good money at the time. I mean, it's terrible. Like $20 an hour is terrible these days. But uh, It was paying like $20, $21 an hour. So I was like, just cool, man. I got a nice credit card, got good credit. I didn't have a backup plan. I was spending money. I was spending more than I was making. I guess it wasn't a lot of money, but I was definitely spending more than I was making. I didn't have a savings. And this is slightly after I got divorced. So after that, I was just working, trying to do, trying to figure out my next move. But I had no backup plan. So when I got fired, I was screwed. For a couple of years, I was screwed. So now, fast forward to now, I got fired. I have like 2 years of savings. So I have a little bit of cushion. Now, here's the thing. I knew, and I've told people this, like, and they tell you this in CDL trucking school too. Make sure you don't spend your money, you don't blow your money when you get into the field because you never know what's going to happen. Anybody can roll over, somebody can crash into you. Once you're out of service, you stop making money. So I took that to heart. I started putting money away my first year. I might have blew some money in my first 3 years, but I built some up before I did that. And my fourth, fifth, and sixth years, I was just investing. So understanding that at one point, or you can't get too comfortable, so you need to have a backup plan. I had several backup plans actually. So that's why when I got fired, I was like, I hope I don't go to jail. That's about all I didn't I wasn't worried about money. I just hope I didn't go to jail. So um yeah, I'm not going to really go into detail on what the backup plans were because they're actually still on the table right now because I've actually found another job, hopefully. And if something happens, then I already have a plan for that backup plan. So this is what you this is what foresight looks like. And I told plenty of people that I was training that, there's only one way that I'm going to get fired from this job. If somebody doesn't just like rear end the hell out of me and knock me off the road, I'm going to lose this job because somebody's going to piss me off. And that's exactly what happened. So for all those spiritual, emotional people saying that, you just manifest that. No, I was just thinking logically because, I'm getting older, starting to get wiser. People are starting to piss me off. So when you piss me off, it's not good. So just don't you step in my lane. I'm probably going to step back. So um, now now with that knowledge that I have, that experience that I went through, if people that actually know the details of what I went through with the firing, I'm going to move a little bit differently. I'm still going to remain vigilant. I'm not going to be a pushover just because that happened. So if somebody disrespects me, I'm just going to react accordingly. But this time, I'm going to put myself in a position where if I notice somebody is a certain way, I'm going to just avoid them at all costs. Um, but it's whatever. Let's see here. Oh, I got a little. If that makes sense, uh, let me know. If it's, you guys need me to go in more detail about that. I can. Um, but yeah, everything's all good. I didn't lose my CDL license. My CD, I lost a job because I broke policy. So if anybody understands if you know the policies of your job, it wasn't safety related. So if it was safety related, no trucking outfit would have hired me because once you break safety, I think you got about 6 months to a year before you can even apply to another CDL holder, no another trucking outfit. So I guess I was lucky in that factor. But I got a article here that I'm gonna touch up on, and then I got some notes. Let me know if anybody has any questions. Hopefully my internet's not like it doesn't look like it. Oh, I'm gonna read this, so we're gonna have to put this down to eye level. All right. So I got this article I wanted to read because they touch upon foresight, and I don't think a lot of people really talk about this. Like, do you? I can't remember if my parents ever talked to me about foresight. They always say do the right thing, but like, what do you get out of doing the right thing? Sometimes you have to. I mean, sometimes you might have to break some rules, man. Um, and you need to accept the consequences of breaking those rules. So I think foresight helps with this. Um, because you got to understand, like, the world doesn't always reward morally sound people. If you actually, like, going back to how the hell so going back to my job hiring. So I spent 6 years being a good boy, like doing best I could do, and then one instance happens where some guy pissed me off. I didn't bloody up his face or anything, but like one instance happened to where I just lost my temper, defended myself, and I lost my job because of that one situation. So I've already said this plenty of times. Like, people are rewarded with attention when they do something bad, but when you do something good, they don't really care. It's like you're less appreciated, and that's what men care about the most, is being appreciated. Like, we don't care if you love us as long as you respect us. So that's probably why I lost my damn head, because I felt disrespected. I don't care if you like me or not. Just don't disrespect me, man. But yeah, it's I just thought I had to say that. That's kind of crazy. But actually, let me take that back. I do care if you love me, man. I need all the love in the world right now. Shit. But anyway, so it's called. So I got this off the Systems Thinker website. I've never been on this website, but I thought this would be a good read, so I'm going to read it. The Art of Foresight: Preparing for a Changing World. Let's see. Let's see here. Foresight is the secret ingredient of success, because without foresight, we cannot prepare for the future. Effective foresight has always been important in human life, but is now much harder to come by because our modern world is changing faster than ever before. Our technologies, jobs, institutions, even some of our treasured values of ways of thinking are shifting radically, making it very difficult to plan ahead and prepare for future challenges and opportunities. God damn, that's a mouthful. So just going ahead there. So this is where I have foresight, and this is what I practice in the art of ninjutsu, because it's very traditional art form. Now, if you look at practitioners teach in ninjutsu, it's very old, modern. I mean, obviously they probably advanced their technologies today, but ninjutsu is, I mean, you train in the old ways. Like, you're not using guns, not really. You're using basic weapons like swords, short weapons like knives and daggers and stuff. So I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure if the ninjutsu instructors are actually teaching people how to dress up and move, like, because basically ninjas were basically the Navy SEALs back in the day in feudal Japan. So they were basically the Navy SEALs of today. Um, so it's very traditional how I train. I train running through the woods. I don't train with any technologies like free weights. I don't go to the gym. I do the stuff outside. I have very good girth, a muscular mass. Like, people, like, if I were to take my shirt off and show you my legs, my arms, and my core, you would think I was in the gym all the time, but I'm not. It's very. I get a lot of protein. I do a lot of running, and the swords that I use are like anywhere between 3 to 4 pounds. I don't use that fake stuff, so all the swords that I use are pretty heavy. You probably wouldn't know that just by watching other martial artists like use those very, replica swords. They're very light. I'll probably go on another podcast to tell you to show you how you could tell the difference between a heavier sword and a lighter sword, and ones that have full tang, um, ones that are spring folded versus, folded steel. So I might go in depth in that, but not on this one. Um, but yeah, I train traditionally because if I do everything I can traditionally. without technology as a way to back to be a backup. Like, say, I don't know, say that I need to, let's say if I have a gym membership and we have COVID like we did before. You can't go to the gym because everything's locked down. So what are you going to do? You have really no concept of how to work out because you only know the gym. So, but that's why I train traditionally. Go to the woods. You do a lot of jumping. You do a lot of depth perception exercises. You do a lot of climbing. Um, do a lot of crouching. All this stuff is like cardio mostly. Um, but you can build muscle, man. Get your damn protein in. You- get a lot of protein. So let's see, where was I at? Oh, okay. Indeed, our age of hyperchange, many people have no notion of what sort of world they should prepare for. They may decide fatalistically that they cannot know or do anything about their own futures. Foresight, in contrast to fatalism, gives us increased power to shape our futures, even in the most turbulent of times. So I'm gonna kind of direct my attention towards the money situation of it. So when having foresight, you need to understand how much you're going to need in every decade of your life. I am getting ready to turn into a new decade. So this decade, I particularly want to retire from the workforce, start working for myself before I turn 43-ish. So I'm pushing it that far because I'm giving myself some time, but I'm still going to move with a sense of urgency. But you want to make sure you have a plan in place. You want to know how much money it's going to take you to retire. You want to calculate the inflation. So um whatever the dollar is today, obviously it's going to inflate. We are in massive debt. So it's not going to get any better. You need to calculate the wars. We have a recession like every what, 8 years, something like that, every 4 to 8 years. So you need to prepare for that. Um, the housing crisis, the cars are getting more expensive. This is the reason why I bought a new car because it's going to last me 10 to 15 years. Assuming somebody doesn't freaking total it. So, and I already have a plan for that. Um, but that's how foresight could save you. I knew I was going to get fired, so I had enough money built up. Well, I didn't know I was going to get fired, but I knew that there was a chance. So let me speak. I didn't know. Foresight isn't about knowing; it's about understanding probabilities of a situation. So you need to operate in generalities and stop trying to be the exception to the rule, um, because the world doesn't really operate in on exceptions. I mean, there are exceptions, of course, to where you do operate on exceptions. Like you don't want to be the last one to the finish line. So you kind of want, like in that case, if there was a race, you don't want to be the last one. So um, let's see here. Oops. All right. Success through. So I don't. Okay. Success through foresight. The relation of foresight to success is poorly misunderstood. As a result, we often think people are successful because of luck, when in fact, it was their foresight that made them lucky. Foresight enabled them to take advantage of opportunities to problems that trap other people. Alan Hall, a young Arizona banker with strong interest in the future, attended a World Future Society conference in the 1970s. There he met the editor of magazine for computer hobbyists. At the time, nobody but governments and big businesses could afford to build a computer. That Hall had the foresight to see the future of computers would be very different from the past, and many new business opportunities would open up. Hall went home in great excitement to talk to his partner about starting a business in computers. And the following years, Hall's business, MicroAge, grew into America's largest microcomputer distributor, serving dealers around the world. So that's one thing to consider, man. Like if you're like kind of a tech guy, getting into computers is would be a nice career move. So the problem with that is, um, look, man, we all want to make a certain amount of money, but like being a tech person is difficult. You're always it's kind of like being a mechanic. Everything's always updating. So you need to be prepared for constantly going to school, constantly being taught new things, new software, new updates, new upgrades. You need to be prepared for when technologies do fail. Um, you need to understand profit and loss margins. So this is where foresight comes into play. Like, make sure you actually enjoy the field and be prepared for when things don't go right, that you have a plan, that you have other skills, man. Don't make one skill the only skill you have to rely on, because when you fall into that trap, then you're kind of screwed. So me as a 18-year-old, I joined the Navy. I got a couple of different skills just doing that. So when I got out, this is the reason why I got out when I did, because like I said, I didn't know at the time, but I was like, man, I need to get out now, because if I'm stuck doing this may be the only thing that I know how to do. And I am terrible with money. So when I get out, I probably won't have that much money. So I need to get out as a civilian, try and start a family, because that was on my mind. I wanted to start a family because I knew when I got out, I was gonna be way too old and like just like screwed in the head. So it was I don't know if I want to do a podcast on what my my experience was like in the Navy, but like it wasn't the best experience, but it was the experience I needed. Like kind of like what I said before, um, about touching the iron. I was one of those guys who had to touch the iron to know that it was hot, because telling me wasn't enough. So I had to join the Navy to get my ass kicked, um, and then get out. And now I have I have world experience that a lot of people don't have. I've been to several countries. I have been to more than 6 countries. So, um, and I've worked almost all around the US. So, I've been around. So I have a certain amount of experience, especially when I got out of the military. This actually helped me with my foresight, because now I know objectively what reality looks like when you don't have foresight. So um, yeah, just have a plan, man. Um, let's see. We're gonna skip down foresight. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Foresight may also save our lives. Here's why. Scientists are identifying more and more ways for us to live longer. Oh my God. Let me stop there. Let me know if you guys agree with like living longer. Um, I don't have problems with us. Like, if you live past the year, like, 100, make sure like the quality of your life is good. I mean, you don't want to be in a wheelchair, because now that's going to be a problem for people that's here, because we got to take care of you. We got to spend money. So, I mean, it sounds bad to say, but like, I don't want to be 100 years old, somebody taking care of me. Like, just pull the goddamn plug. Now, if I live to be like 80 years old and I'm still running and jumping, doing jumping jacks and stuff, that's different. I'm not a hindrance on society. Like, nobody has to take care of me. Nobody has to jam a needle in me. So, um, that's a different story, man. Let's see here. I don't know if I like maybe that's probably what he meant, for us to live more quality lives longer. But just to live longer, I don't know if that's a good idea. Our birth rate is already screwed up, and I don't I don't know if we want the majority of the population being elderly, because that's not good. That means they're gonna have to work longer. Um, but anyway, happier lives, but we have to decide to follow their advice. People lacking foresight are only too likely to disregard the practices that would safeguard their future health and well-being. Millions of people are alive today because they paid attention when scientists confirmed the enormous damage that smoking cigarettes does to the human body. And that is where I'm going to lead into next. Um, so when I started smoking, it was more a okay, first of all, smoking was something I did as a result of peer pressure. The friends I was hanging out, I'm not going to say that they were bad people, but they were smoking. I thought it was cool to smoke, so I smoked. The first cigarette that I smoked, I was coughing. So here's the good thing here. When I hated that, I hated putting smoke into my lungs. So when I did smoke with my friends, um, when I did smoke with my friends, I put the cigarette in my mouth. I didn't inhale. I did puff out the smoke, but I never inhaled the cigarette. So I don't know if that counts. I may have inhaled maybe 2 or 3 puffs. So that's about all I did my entire life. Um, so I'm I'm actually that's pretty cool though because I don't have to work. I mean, obviously I could still get some kind of lung disease. I mean, but it does lower the probability of me getting lung cancer from smoking. So um I understood at a young age, like, smoking wasn't good for you, so I just didn't do it. I didn't drink either, like, I think I drank my first sip of beer at, like, 17, but it didn't become a habit because I wasn't around people that drink or smoke or any of that stuff, so, um, I mean, it sounds sucky to say, but, like, you are the people you're hanging out with, so, like, if you're smoking and a bunch of other people are smoking, you're probably gonna pick up smoking. Like it's just human nature. It's the probability of being around people. Like for me, like I'm always like if you look at my social media, man, I'm always taking pictures alone because like I train alone. There's not many people that actually do martial arts like I do outside. I'm not in the dojos. So so a lot of people say, won't you go to the martial arts? Won't you go take up taekwondo or karate? It's because I train in a way that's very dangerous. These instructors, they are liable for the safety of their students. So the way that I train is more life. It's more for the field of adulthood. So um, they don't train the way that I train. My stuff is very dangerous. Like you could actually die the way that I train. And I keep trying to tell people like I train with real weapons, real katanas. So if I mess up, I'm going to be either dead or in the hospital for a long time. The instructors can't have you training with real swords, not like the stuff that I use. So they don't. They train with if they do have you train with swords, they're not sharpened. Mine are sharpened. So if you look at my videos, look at how I train with swords. Like I'm very careful, very calculated. I don't do stupid stuff with those weapons. So if you actually watch some of the martial artists that are flipping through the air with swords and shit, 99% of the time, those swords are not sharpened. They're probably like 1 pound each. My swords are about 4 to 5 pounds, so they're very heavy. Um, and if you think 4 to 5 pounds is light, yeah, it's 4 to 5 pound dumbbell is light, but a 4 to 5 pound sword is not because the weight of the sword is in the blade mostly. So um, it's going to feel heavier if you understand physics. So I'm going to read the rest of this. Meanwhile, the neighbors and friends who continue to smoke have succumbed to lung cancer. Oh, damn, that's what I was just talking about. So so when you smoke and you eat a bunch of food, you're in a calorie surplus like every day. You're most likely going to get some kind of heart disease, man. Um, I'm not saying that people that don't are safe from it, but you're lowering your probability. So a lot of people don't think about probabilities when they're like, dude, when I go outside, I'm like, man, what's the probability of me getting stabbed? So it's probably like a 1%, but I still keep my eyes open. Like when I'm at the fuel pumps, I'm always looking around like who's walking behind me and stuff. Like you just never know who's gonna pull out a knife and just like, start stabbing people. Like I create different scenarios in my head. um, if you guys actually watch the news, like I'm not talking about the news that people are just spreading over social media. I'm saying like if you're digging the internet for news and stuff, you're going to find some stuff that nobody's sharing. People just come out of nowhere, just shooting, stabbing, like for no reason, man. So it's actually happening a lot more than people think. Um, so when I go out into the world, I'm always keeping an eye on how many people is around me. I'm noticing the people that are like dress, like understand how people dress. Um and I'm noticing other people's awareness. So if they seem aware, it means they it means you might want to take a little more notice in what they are looking at too. So if they seem suspicious, something's going down or something they might be suspicious of you. You never know. So you need to kind of take in consideration that you may not be in a safe space. So you need to understand, get out wherever you're at, whether you're in a store or a gas station. Like a lot of crimes happen in corner stores and gas stations and lower impoverished areas. So um yo, my light is going away. It's almost 6:30. So we're losing light, son. It's getting dark and let me change my camera, see if that changes it. Uh does anybody have any experiences like with having bad foresight? Like, did you ever make a bad decision because you just didn't know all the facts. You were, or you went by what other people say. A lot of people post stuff on social media, but they have no recollection. They did no research. They just fucking shared some other shit that other people shared. This is one reason why I don't watch clips. I watch the whole entire thing. Like some of these podcasts, like 2 to 3 hours long. You may have missed something in the first 2 to 3 minutes, where something went viral in the last clip, like in the last hour of a podcast, where that's usually where it gets juicy. Because if you sit there and watch a 2 to 3 hour podcast, usually the first hour or like the first 30 minutes is kind of chill, but then the people in the podcast get a little bit more comfortable talking to each other, so they open up more, and that's where all the viral content usually happens, is in the end. So you need to pay attention to chapter 1 through 5 before you make an assumption on what is going on just because you saw what happened in chapter 7. People are just horrible at like doing their damn research, man. Let's see what this camera looks like. Yo, this is kind of, I don't know, man. We like the darkness. So, let's see. I got some notes here. Oh, if anybody's investing like crypto or stocks, man, Foresight helps you out with that. So just a little bit here I was going to touch up on. So I am in cryptocurrency, I'm in Bitcoin. Foresight's important because you need to understand who's in the market and who's manipulating the market. You got your whales, you got your retail. So retail and whales and institutions like DeFi and TradFi are manipulating the market, um, based on how they spread information. So you got your retail. That's me and you. Basically, just regular people are not accredited investors. Um, Basically, just people in the market that has low liquidity. Um, the way they manipulate the market is just spreading FUD, or they are spreading hope for certain coins. Like people, especially XRP, man. People talk a lot with XRP. If you guys know what I'm talking about, a lot of retail get into XRP because a lot of people are spreading hopium, and it is a good project. If you want to make some money, man, just get into XRP. So just me saying that. Now I could go the other way around. I bet XRP's trash, man. Everybody's just getting into XRP, but like, I mean, you could say it either way, but somebody out there is going to listen to what I say, and they're going to make their decisions on based on what I say. Um, Now, if I say a coin is trash, um, maybe that might be one factor in their decision making that could hurt an investment because they didn't do their own research. So they may have missed out on a good opportunity to buy some good to get a good investment. So this is where foresight plays into it. You need to do your own research. You need to find out which assets are risk on and risk averse. So which ones are the riskiest. So obviously the lower market caps are going to be the riskiest. So when you put money into those, make sure it's not as much money as when you invest in the bigger, the higher cap crypto. So a lot of people do the opposite because retail they don't have that much liquidity. So they want to make their money fast. And that's the fastest way to lose your money. So you don't, if all you have is 20K, you throw it in Bitcoin at what, 114K, you're not going to make that much when Bitcoin goes to 130K, as if you threw it into a lower cap coin. I don't know, like fart coin. That could 10x, but also can, could fail because it's a freaking fart coin. So um, you need to do your due diligence on these investments, on these stocks and stuff, and stop going by what other people say. Because whales can manipulate the market too. They have a bunch of money, so they can always pump and dump whenever they want to. Um, yeah, but yeah, and obviously you got your banks who can borrow money and manipulate the market that way. So, oh man, this, so I don't know, man. Foresight affects your work life. So, oh, that's one thing that I forgot to mention when applying for jobs. What are you applying for? Are you applying for 2 weeks, or are you applying for a career? So, like, if you're applying for a job and you apply for, let's say you have a hard time getting a job, you put in 10 applications, you put 5 applications for a short term, like for a low wage job, and you put 5 applications for a higher paying job. So why the hell why the hell would you take the lower income job when you applied for higher income? You should, like, I would just, apply to 5 jobs and then take the one that obviously um that calls you back first, so you don't feel bad about, passing up another job. So I always do that. So I'll apply to like 2 or 3, jobs a week. If I don't hear nothing back, I'll continue that. And that is how you kind of save yourself some stress, because nobody likes to reject money, um, especially when they think they have opportunities ahead of that. So um, let's see. Uh, oh, I was just gonna go. I was I was gonna do this on another stream, but I'll just touch up on it a little bit, because the way that women and men make decisions are a little different. So this is why it's good to be a leader, because if you're a good leader, then most people will follow, like the women in your life, especially the one that chooses you. So you need to understand that men and women are different. So men, they make their decisions a little differently than women. So first, they go by instinct, logic, and emotion, whereas women um, are instinct, emotion, and logic. So they're they usually they think first with emotion, and then logic comes later. And then with men, we uh, we make sure we reason with our decisions before getting emotionally involved. So um, let's see. For example, I had a decision I had a decision years ago, um, to because I worked for the bowling alley, and I had opportunity. I haven't told many people this, but I had an opportunity to work for the fire department or work as a cable technician. So what I did was do some research. I didn't make a decision right away because both jobs would have paid me a lot more than I was getting at the bowling alley. So I didn't make a decision where, and this is the fire chief. He came up to me and said he wanted me to work. He wanted me to, be on his staff, so to speak. He wanted me to work in the fire department. So I did some research on this, and honestly, I think I made the right decision, because I thought logically, like, man, this would be cool to be a firefighter. That would give me some bonus points. It would definitely pump up my status, but I wasn't really thinking about that. I was like, man, I don't know if I want to do this, man, because it just doesn't seem like it just doesn't seem like me. And I chose the cable tech, even though it was probably going to pay less, because um, I don't know. I just didn't know. I knew a little bit more about who I was joining up with versus like being a fire in the fire department. I didn't think that was going to pan out. So I chose cable technician, which turned out to be um I can't say it was a bad decision, but it led me to travel the world. Well, not the world, but the United States, basically. So it helped me learn things and about people, helped me learn about human nature, and it helped me get into trucking. I don't know where that if I had made a decision to join the fire department where that have would have led me, but I just think I did not. I had more reasons to be a cable technician than if in the fire department. So um, I made a decision based on logistics versus emotions because it would have been an emotional decision if I chose the fire department because it was like, it's cool. So I mean, just because something's cool doesn't mean it was right for me. So um let's see. Oh yeah, with women, like um I can't even go into I can't even go into too much detail with that because I don't make decisions based on emotion. Like like if something feels good, like okay, women like women don't like to be lied to. They want the truth, but they want the truth in a way that it makes them feel good. And that's usually not how truth works. Truth usually hurts. Um, when's the first time that you've been told the truth about something and it actually felt good? Actually, I was one time. So actually, here's a good example of one. I'm trying to remember this story. I don't want to exaggerate it because it actually really happened. You guys aren't gonna fucking believe this. Actually, you might. I'm not the most stunning person to look at, but one time I asked a chick out. I don't remember how old I was, but I definitely asked her out. I asked her for a number. I was actually very direct. And she told me that I was ugly. So I mean, I didn't, if I was an emotional person, I would have started crying. Because I think I was young. I think I was in my teenage years when this happened. So but because I understood how women were, but not to the degree now, but like I understood that women had options. It was like, man, I'm just like another dude, man. So when she said I was ugly, I was like, oh shit, she's telling me the truth. Um, and it may and it, I mean, obviously looks can be subjective, but like nobody's ever told me that. And but like if this is what people are really thinking, like a lot of people are fucking lying to me. Like I'd rather know the truth so I can fix whatever's making me seem ugly. Now she didn't really go into detail what was ugly. I mean, I could have been. I was never fat. I don't know what hairstyle I was wearing, but can you guys imagine like just like asking somebody out and they'd be like, "Nah, man, you're." If someone said, you're not my type, that's different. But when they straight up tell you that you're ugly, that's a whole fucking new level of truth that you sometimes some people need to hear, man. So this is kind of I think that's fucking some emotional trauma that I'm dealing with. But like I'm cool now. Like if somebody said I was ugly to me, I'd just be like, fuck you too, bitch. I know that. So it would actually make me laugh. Like, dude, yeah, that shit, but yeah, that's a true story. Another thing is when you tell people the truth, man, they fucking fix their shit around. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I'm a saint because one time, um, and I do remember this, man. I just don't remember how old I was. But this one chick tried to hook me up with her friend, and she was like, my friend wants your number, and she pointed me to her. I was like, and she was overweight, and I told her, I straight up told her I just don't like. I'm in shape, so I'd rather date somebody that's in shape as well. Can I have your number? And she declined. So at that point, I was like, okay, she didn't want my number. I didn't want her number, her friend's number, and I don't know if that helped, but like if you tell somebody that you're not gonna date them because and they want your number, so you tell them that you don't want their number because they're overweight, they're gonna fix it. More than likely, they're gonna fix it. Like, if you don't say anything, they're not gonna fix it, man. If you got a guy walking around, um, who's an alcoholic, and the reason why he can't see his kids because he's always getting drunk, somebody's got to tell him the truth, man. Fix your fucking life so you can see your kid grow up, man. So Nobody wants to be honest with each other, man. So that's another thing that I learned with foresight, man. Be honest and be direct. Don't sugarcoat the truth, man. Especially with your friends. With strangers, maybe you can sugarcoat it a little bit, but like you might want to fucking be more direct, especially when you get to know somebody because they will listen. Like if you tell somebody, hey, you need to make more money because inflation. If you tell them that, they're not going to change their life. You need to fucking tell them, hey, you need to make money because you're not going to be able to afford your car. You're not going to be able to afford your house. You're going to fucking be living on the streets, and I'm not going to fucking help you. You're not going to get any money from me. So that will change his life. You can't be sugarcoating shit. So, um, but yeah. Oh, just a little bit of something I had experience with. Because at one time I was really broke, and I mean, the truth will surface at some point. It may somebody may not tell you, but like you're gonna find yourself like flat on your face and it's like, holy shit, nobody told me this. So um, but yeah, I mean, I guess that's all I got for now, man. Oh, we went for an hour. But I'm going to talk about foresight in further episodes because it's one of my favorite things to talk about. Um, hopefully I can make a better video and show you the consequences of having bad foresight. So, but yeah, we are losing light. So, and I am trying to fix it. But maybe there we go. All right. So this is going to end today's stream. I'm going to get me a drink of water, and that's going to be the end. And you guys have a good one. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Peace out.